Welcome to G.I. Joe RPG Stories. In this podcast, I present after-action reports based on our game sessions playing the G.I. Joe role-playing game by Renegade Game Studios. I am David Martel, the Game Master, and this is episode 104, Foray Under the Night Sky. March 2nd, 1987. After receiving intel from one of their assets, the Joes launched a clandestine nighttime operation to infiltrate Cobra Island. The objective was to prevent Dr. Venom from mass-producing a compound that could reanimate the dead. Their task was to land in a remote sector of the island and link up with Lone Wolf, a G.I. Joe spy whom Max Power and Knockout had previously encountered in Moldova under the alias Reaper. Inside the cargo bay, the engines of the C-130 hummed steadily, while a red light bathed the interior in a dull glow. The team ran final checks as they approached the objective. Second Lieutenant Matthew Pierre Max Power Trembling sat near the loading ramp. He pulled a cigar from an inner pocket, bit off the end and placed it in his mouth. Ripcord gave him a side glance. "It's for the jump," Max Power said, winking. Technically, Ripcord and Dialtone were in command of this operation, everyone knew it. But when Max Power stood, the chatter stopped. "Listen up!" he shouted. "Our job is simple. We go in quiet, we reach the lab, and we shut down Dr. Venom's operation." He looked each of them in the eye. Cobra Island was a sovereign nation. Getting caught will trigger a diplomatic crisis. "Once our boots hit the island," he said, "there's no cavalry coming to put us out." The green jump light flashed on, and the ramp began to lower. "This is it! Cobra Land!" Ripcord shouted with a grin as he stepped toward the open night. "Remember, if you shoot us in open, don't land on me!" He jumped, and one by one, the others followed. The descent went smoothly. They fell at full speed, until it was time to deploy their parachutes. Ripcord, of course, hit the mark perfectly. Knockout, however, drifted off course, carried by a crosswind.
"Knockout, you're too wide!"
Ripcord said over the HDD.
"Don't worry about me.
Knockout replied.
I know Island well. I will catch you."
Though separated from the others, he landed without incident. Ghost Feather touched down at the designated point but failed to control his landing and sprained an ankle on impact. The injury slowed him, but not enough to sideline the team's new sniper. The first group, led by Ripcord, including Lowlight, Contact, and Atari, a new technician, headed for the mountains to gain elevation and scout ahead. The second group, led by Max Power, pushed through the dense tropical forest. They advanced toward an urban settlement that, according to Lone Wolf, might house Dr. Venom's laboratory. Their rendezvous point lay on the outskirts. Moving swiftly and avoiding patrols, they made good progress. Then they encountered a small Cobra encampment wedged between two cliffs. The Cobra soldiers were on high alert. Circumventing them was possible but difficult. A quiet approach might have worked, but Knockout does not do discreet. "Yo, Joe!" Without hesitation, the renegade charged straight at the enemy. Max Power swore and followed. In the middle of the chaos, the Cobra officer ducked behind a crate and shouted at his own men. "Keep the noise down! Do you want them to hear you?" The reason became clear moments later. From beyond the cliffs came a low, uneven moan. Then another. Shapes staggered into view at the far end of the pass. Some wore shredded Cobra uniforms. Their wounds looked fresh. The Joes had been briefed on Dr. Venom's horrifying creation. They had not expected newly turned undead, especially here on Cobra Island. As the battle intensified, Lone Wolf joined from the opposite direction. He had been scouting the settlement when he noticed unusual troop movements and rising tension among the Cobra units. Breaking radio silence would have compromised his cover, so he sprinted through the forest to warn the team in person. "You're late!" Max Power teased.
"You're loud,"
Lone Wolf replied. The Cobra officer made a break for a Stinger Jeep, clearly intending to flee, but the vehicle did not make it far before erupting in flames. The G.I. Joe team eventually overcame the undead and subdued the remaining Cobras. Interrogation proved easier than expected, since fear made them very cooperative. The island was facing a full-blown zombie outbreak, and a horde had been spotted not far from their position. They could not leave the captured Cobras tied to trees to be devoured. Not even Cobra deserved that, so they brought the prisoners with them before moving out. Ghostfeather prepared a nasty surprise for the approaching horde. Grenades rigged to steel cables. It would not stop the undead, but at least it would slow them down. Lone Wolf briefed his new teammates. Dr. Venom had retreated into his laboratory, now sealed behind a newly installed security system. According to their intel, the system was controlled by 2 computers, located in separate buildings, each a key to unlocking the lab.
"I've only been back on the island a few days, but I've got a name."
He looked at Cracker.
"Elena de Souza."
Cracker went completely still. "My sister?" he asked, though he already knew. Earlier in the campaign, Cracker had received a letter from his parents, praising his twin sister's success. A high-paying contract, access to a private jet, an exotic car. They were very proud of her accomplishments, especially compared to his. Since Elena was still on the island, Cracker requested permission to break from the mission and find her. Ripcord granted it, but he would accompany him with a couple of Joes to secure transportation as well. This left Max Power in charge of Atari, Contact, Ghostfeather, and Lone Wolf. Although Contact was a veteran, Atari and Ghostfeather were still green. And from what little Max Power knew about the spy, he wasn't sure he could trust him yet. The situation was far from ideal, and the task ahead would not be easy. But the nightmare was only beginning, as they were about to face a horror night on Cobra Island. You have reached the end of this report. If you would like to know more but don't want to wait for the next episode to drop, you can visit my blog at gijoRPGstories.wordpress.com. And if you like these narrated stories, please be sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, this is David Martel, signing off.